A hoopoe flies to a higher branch in the walnut tree. It must be the nesting male bringing some food to the chicks, and flies off. A hoopoe sings. Sometimes, when a breeding male loses his mate, he starts singing again. Males also use the song to trace lost contacts with their mates. After about 10 minutes, he finally moves towards the nest, but returns with the food still in his bill. After about 8 days, all the chicks have hatched, and the female joins the male in the task of bringing food. But the male still gives the food to the female because she is the one who feeds the newborn chicks for the first days. Here, a two-tailed pasha, one of Europe's largest butterflies with a wingspan of 10 centimeters. It feeds on overripened fruit as well as tree sap. The nesting male returns to the nest site and sings softly, still with food in his bill. Because the male continues to bring only a few large morsels to its mate, the female goes in search of small prey for the recently hatched nestlings. Finally, the female returns to the nest, and immediately the nesting male joins her. From now on, both parents will feed the chicks. The entrance to the nest is visible from a different angle, and a chick's fan can be seen. Almost 20 days have passed since hatching, and now the nestlings are so big they can go to the nest entrance and wait for food, with their heads poking out. The flight path of the female is from the rear, while that of the male approaches from the front. When the chick hears its parents' call, it pops its head out of the nest to accept the food. It seems that the male feeds the chicks more frequently than the female, but the female's trajectory is more secretive. A chick is curious and inspects the vicinity of the nest. Hoopoes have well-developed anti-predators defences in the nest. The uropygial tail gland of the incubating and brooding female is quickly modified to produce a foul-smelling liquid, and the glands of the nestlings do so as well. These secretions are rubbed into the plumage. This secretion, which smells like rotting meat, is thought to help deter predators, as well as deter parasites and possibly act as an antibacterial agent. A second chick shows its bill. The male arrives with food but hesitates for some unknown reason. But finally feeds the chick. The female follows quickly. The following day, the chicks are fed non-stop. As the male approaches the nest, one of the chicks opens its beak, agitated. But when the female does not come, the chick is confused and retreats into the nest. But soon the male feeds the chick. Suddenly, a juvenile arrives, most likely a juvenile from the first brood, judging by its new feathers, and curiously inspects the nest. It is uncertain, flies away, but returns and gets scared when a chick opens its bill, but quickly recovers and approaches the nest and looks into it. It moves away. But comes back quickly. It now flies to the nest and flutters in front of it, while a chick hopes to be fed. It approaches the nest again with curiosity. Finally, the juvenile flies away. When the female arrives, the chicks remain in the nest, and the female deposits the food in the nest. But with the next meal, a chick awaits the food, its bill wide open. This chick is about to fledge. It displays its conspicuous crest. A juvenile common redstart lands next to the nest, and the chick is fed by the male. The common redstart shows some affinity to the European robin in many of its habits and actions. The orange-red tail, from which it gets its name as start, is an old word for tail, is frequently quivered. In the late afternoon, the chick will fledge and be fed for a few more days. Here, a juvenile, recognizable by its smaller bill and crown of feathers, sits next to the male. And flies off first. Hoopoes forage by striding over relatively open ground and periodically pause to probe the ground with their bill to detect insect larvae, although small reptiles, frogs and plant matter such as seeds and berries are sometimes taken as well. Early August, hoopoes migrate to the tropical overwintering areas of Western Africa, but some individuals from Central Europe can overwinter in Southern Europe, like Spain, Italy or Greece. It is generally assumed that hoopoes migrate alone during the night. They might encounter conspecifics on stopover sites, but it seems unlikely that this will greatly affect their migration direction. The bee-eater is highly migratory and overwinters as well in tropical Africa. Unlike the hoopoes, these birds migrate in groups. Hoopoes from Provence migrate via the Iberian Peninsula, the Balearic Islands, or the Corsica-Sardinia route to the non-breeding areas, and will overwinter more westwards on the African continent compared to those from Central Europe that will take more eastern routes via the Apennine Peninsula and the Balkan Peninsula.